Good evening, I'm Jane Valez Mitchell in for Nancy Grace. Fast-breaking developments tonight. Skeletal remains of a small child discovered just yards from the Anthony home match the hair color and bone measurements of little Kaylee Anthony. And tonight we have the stunning 911 call.
Yes, this is Orange County Utilities Emergency Dispatch. We found a human skull.
Oh my gosh.
I know. We got is it a meter reader?
Yes.
I'm going to just speak right now with the representative from our field services facilities. Hi. Everything is recorded. Here he is.
How are you doing? Skull of a, if you believe is human.
What's the location?
It's right off of Suburban and Chickasaw in the Kelly Anthony area, right by the...
Oh. Do you have a specific address for me or not?
No, it's right by the school. If you take it easily.
You are.
Yeah, he's...
Suburban and Goldenwood?
Well, Suburban and Chickasaw.
Chickasaw, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and the school is right there. I can't think of the name of the school. It just go right straight down. It dead ends right into the woods. Okay. It'll be on the east side of Chickasaw, Suburban.
East side of Chickasaw. And what is your party's name that we're going to meet with? He's not touching this, I hope.
No, he's a meter reader.
Meter reader?
Yeah, and I'll just tell him to stay at that location and just stay away from everything.
Okay. And if you can, try to stress to him to please not draw attention to the area.
Yeah, okay.
And that would be great, just in case it is something. It may be nothing, but just in case.
Yes.
And you're from what department?
Utilities Customer Service.
Utilities.
And if you need any information, my phone number is...
Go ahead and send a call up for a deputy to meet with him.
Okay.
And we'll see you there very shortly. What type of vehicle is he going to be in?
Probably a Colorado, small Colorado, white. It'll
White.
have Orange County. It'll have Orange County insignia on it.
Okay. White Colorado
Chevy
truck.
Colorado. Yes.
And with Orange County markings.
Yes.
Orange County markings. Okay, we'll see you there very shortly, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So many developments on so many fronts. Let's go straight out to Mark Williams, the news director at WNDB News Talk 1150. Mark, you are near the very spot where the remains were discovered. What is the very latest?
Well, it looks like they're first wrapping up this crime scene slowly but surely, Jane. They've been here since 5 o'clock this morning. They've been going through everything, sifting through the even the ground that's around there. But late today, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, a spokesman for that office, Jane, said they are pretty much positive that the remains found here at that site in back of us belong to Kaylee Marie Anthony. And the reason given by PSO spokesman Carlos Padilla is the fact that there are no kids missing in the range of 3 years of age. The remains are consistent with a 3-year-older, and it is near the Anthony homestead. Would you believe 3/10 of a mile away, maybe 15 doors away, where the remains were found yesterday. In addition, defense attorney Linda Kenny Bawden says attorney for Casey Anthony, Jose Baez, was told that the measurements of the bones and the color of the hair match Kaylee Marie Anthony. Jane?
All right. Well, so many developments once again coming from the Sheriff's Department. Let's listen to the sheriff himself.
There's certain things that they want to be looking for. Some of those clues came from the crime scene yesterday, and a lot of items were taken into our custody for review.
I know you can't go into detail, but there was something that was found that made you want to search the grandparents' home?
Absolutely.
That was Sheriff Kevin Berry on ABC's Good Morning America after detectives removed evidence from the Anthony home last night. Let's go to Natisha Lance, a Nancy Grace producer who has been on scene from the very beginning. Where are the remains tonight, Natisha?
Those remains are with the Orange County Medical Examiner's Office, Jane, and I spoke to Deputy Carlos Padilla tonight, and he told me that they will remain there. What is going to happen is that they will have a conversation with the FBI, figure out which items might need to go to Quantico for further testing, but that does not necessarily mean that all of the remains will be shipped off to Quantico for that additional testing. Now, they said something in court today saying that there has been no tentative ID that has been made on these remains. However, the Medical Examiner's Office did release a press release later on this afternoon saying that preliminary results will not be released, which is a little interesting, saying that they had no tentative ID, but now they're saying even if they do have them, they're not releasing any preliminary results on those remains.
Well, listen, I want to bring in the attorneys because what's so shocking here, Joey Jackson and Daryl Cohen, is that the claim that they have tentatively identified this child as little Kaylee Anthony came from the defense attorneys, and you have the actual authorities saying, no, wait, that's premature. We've still got to do our DNA test. Isn't that backwards? Isn't it the defense attorneys who are supposed to say, no, it's not little Kaylee, and the prosecution is supposed to say, yes, it is?
Well, Jane, it absolutely is, but here's the real issue. Now, what has happened in this case, Jane, it has moved from a circumstantial case. You might remember early on they were saying she didn't report it. She ultimately told the police conflicting things. There was evidence of decomposition in her trunk, you know, the internet searches with the chloroform. This takes that out of the spectrum of circumstantial evidence and allows for direct evidence to establish guilt in this case. And that's what's so significant. If there are prints on that duct tape, is there chloroform attached to that body? That's the significance of this development.
Absolutely. Now, Daryl Cohen, the reason why the defense was saying it is Kaylee is because they wanted the right to go in and observe the autopsy. The judge said no way, and the prosecution was saying, no, we don't know for sure it's her, so we can't let the defense team in. Is that a fair assessment?
And I think it's a very fair assessment. I also think it's something, a bone that the defense is throwing out, trying to say when they're not allowed in, that the scene is going to be contaminated. As a result of that, our experts are not going to be able to show what really needs to be shown. It's just a game they're playing, and it's not a very good one, quite frankly.
All right, we've got the phone lines lighting up, stacked up over LaGuardia here. Sherry in Michigan, your question or thought, ma'am?
Do you think since Casey had fought with her mother that day and knew that her mother loved Kaylee so much that she could have killed Kaylee to punish her mother?
Wow, that's a heavy-duty question. I want to bring in Leonard Padilla, bounty hunter. He has searched for Kaylee Anthony. And I want to dovetail that with another comment today. We have observed, this is another breaking development, that the Anthonys returned home from California. They were not initially allowed into their home because they had gotten a search warrant, and they were actually, authorities were searching that home and removing all sorts of items. And we're going to get to all the specific items they removed in a bit because it's a fascinating list. Meantime, Cindy and Anthony have now returned home. They went in, they grabbed their two dogs, they grabbed their suitcase, and they left. What is the significance of that? Is it for their safety, or is it possibly, Leonard, that the information that they've gotten from authorities has chilled them to the bone, that they may be thinking, oh my gosh, perhaps the child died in this home. I don't want any part of this home.
No, it's not that. I think they had a pretty significant belief that the child was dead prior to that. I think it's just readjusting their defense strategy as to how they're going to handle it. They're probably huddling with their attorneys right now. Somebody said that they were actually filming a
Leonard, how could you possibly say that they were pretty convinced that their grandchild was dead when they flew to California to follow a sighting, when they have said repeatedly over and over again, we believe our grandchild is alive? I mean, you're not a mind reader. You can't go in there and create thoughts in their head that they may not be having.
George was a homicide detective for 10 years in Warren, Ohio. He knows what the smell of a decomposing body is. Cindy's been a nurse for years and years, and she knows what a decomposing body smells like. And Cindy's the one that posted on July the 3rd, my Kaylee's gone. Well, okay, then basically you're saying that everything that they're doing is a big act up until this point, like going to the sightings. But let me ask this question. Defense strategy. All right, well, they're going to have to come up with a new one, let me tell you that. No, they're going to blame it on Zenaida and say she dumped the body by the family house so that she could frame them. Yeah, but Zenaida doesn't exist. The Zenaida that they found has nothing to do with this case. Zanny the nanny is a figment of her imagination. Absolutely. All right, well, we're going to have to see what they're going to come up with now as a defense.
Science is science. It should speak for itself, and it shouldn't be manipulated, and if it can, then it's not science. We have qualified people, the best in the business, reviewing this evidence. So we will be able to actually verify it independently, and that's all we're asking for, nothing more. And we're not even asking to hide it. We're allowing them to observe whatever it is we do.